Today I am really excited to chat with you a little bit about some different things that I am making to help make our morning times a little bit more smooth with some prepped breakfast meals that are healthier for us, much healthier than what we were eating. First off, I am getting some watermelon cut up and I'm going to freeze these. I'm going to put them into gallon Ziploc size bags. Hindsight, probably not the best way to freeze watermelon, and I kind of even thought about this while I was doing it, but I was just honestly being a little bit lazy. So I just threw it all in a bag, froze it, and as you can imagine, it kind of all froze, stuck together in a big solid lump. When I was trying to break it apart later on, it didn't really want to break apart. It was in a big, like I said, a big chunk. Next time that I cut apart a watermelon to freeze it, I'm going to lay it out on a cookie sheet, flash freeze it, and then put it in a Ziploc bag afterwards. It is one more step, but I think it will be worth my time in the long run. While I'm getting this watermelon cut up, I'm going to chat a little bit about the breakfast situation that we normally have going on. Mornings for us are very slow, and I usually stay up late, but my kids like to get up early. And so we have one of those Hatch sound machines that has a light that tells them at what point they are allowed to get out of bed. So at 7 o'clock, their clock turns yellow. That means they can read in their room for a little bit. If the light was still red, that means they need to lay in their bed and try to either go back to sleep or just rest. But once it turns yellow, they can get out of their bed, but they must stay in their room. And then once the light turns green at 7:30, then they can come out of their room, get breakfast and whatnot. So at that point, my two oldest, my boys, were getting breakfast for themselves, which was super helpful, but they were getting things that weren't the best. They were getting granola bars, pouches, anything that they could get out of the pantry to have as what I would call their first breakfast. But all of those things are packed with sugar and don't have a ton of protein. And so I had been listening to a podcast recently by Just Ingredients, and just the importance of having a protein-packed breakfast. And if you do have fruit or whatever, just to make sure that you're having a healthy fat and a protein along with it. This just really felt important to me to try to make a change in our diets, especially for my kids, to help make sure that the rest of their day they were set up for success. We do homeschool, and so I want to make it easy for them to be able to have a good, nutrient-rich breakfast so that they will be able to be successful in their schoolwork for the day. Making sure that they have all the nutrients they need is such a hard and almost impossible task. You know, as adults, we take our own vitamins. We are more aware of things that we need to eat, and even though we, our parents, are in control of what our kids eat, we can only force them to eat so much. I just wanted to take a few minutes away from the video to tell you about something I'm super excited about that we've started using for my kids. It is a vitamin called Hiya, and it is a kids chewable multivitamin. Some really great things about Hiya is that it has 0 grams of added sugar. It is not a gummy vitamin. Kids only have to take 1 vitamin a day instead of multiple. You have a reusable bottle, so every time that you get a new shipment of vitamins, it just gets dumped into the bottle that you already have, so that's less waste. But also the bottle is so cute because they come in the mail with stickers. Your kids get to decorate it however they want to, which makes them really excited about their vitamins. I was a little bit hesitant at first, since it wasn't a gummy vitamin, if my kids were going to enjoy it or not, but I was pleasantly surprised. They ask me for it every single day. It's not something I have to force them to take, and honestly I don't even have to remember it because they remember it for me. Not only do they offer a multivitamin, but they now offer a vitamin with iron. They also have a vitamin specifically for bedtime to help kids with going to sleep a little bit easier. They also offer a probiotic vitamin as well. Right now, they are offering a special summer discount for 50% off your first order, but you can also get additional 20% off if you use my link. If you want to try out Hiya Vitamins, I highly suggest scrolling down to the description box below and checking out my link and getting an additional 20% off of the already 50% off that you're going to get off your first order. Plus, you'll even get free shipping. Since my kids are already accustomed to having a kind of grab and go breakfast, like a granola bar or something like that, a muffin, I wanted to continue having something that they could just grab and go that wouldn't be super difficult, because I am just not the mom that gets up and makes a big breakfast. That's just not me. Some moms are like that, and we occasionally will have a big breakfast on the weekend. But more than likely, we make big breakfast for dinner. We have breakfast for dinner a lot. It's one of my favorite things to do, but I'm just not one to get up and make a huge breakfast. I am working on making a few different things. Right now, I am making homemade kind bars. These have a few ingredients. I think it's almonds, shredded coconut, honey, and dark chocolate. I really think that was the only ingredients. Oh, coconut oil. There was also a little bit of coconut oil mixed in with the chocolate chips. So this was a fairly easy recipe to make, and it's something that one of my boys loves in particular. He loves the kind of bars. I love them also, and so this worked out being a great option for me as well. I'm not one to sit down and eat a breakfast either. I like to grab and go, get going with my morning. I just got to thinking that me cutting up the watermelon earlier, I didn't really explain what I was doing that for. I particularly wanted to have it to make smoothies, or what I told my kids, it was going to be an icy. I thought I wanted to make a healthy version of an icy. It really turned out to be more of like a sorbet type fruit thing. I don't know. But it was really delicious, and what I ended up using for that was watermelon, frozen strawberries, lemon juice, and date paste. And that was super delicious. That really isn't a breakfast item. It's more of kind of a treat. We could use the watermelon in fruit smoothies for breakfast too. So I made these kind bars. You just mixed all the ingredients, packed it down with the parchment paper, and then baked it in the oven for, I want to say, like 15 to 20 minutes or so. Another idea that I had, I used this almond butter to add into oatmeal along with flax seeds and chia seeds. That makes a really easy breakfast that has more nutrients in it than just a plain oatmeal. I'm also going to make some egg muffins and some homemade Cliff Bars. So I think I might have made these homemade Cliff Bars on here before. I'm not 100% sure. My other little boy, he doesn't like the kind bars as much, but he really loved the iced oatmeal Cliff Bars. I mean, he would eat multiple of those a day if I would let him. So I'm going to make some more of those today. You just mix everything in the blender. It has oats, it has honey, it has date paste, molasses. I added ground flaxseed, vanilla, coconut oil. I think I mentioned dates. And then you blend all of these in the blender until it is smooth. Then you add in some more oats to kind of give it the texture. Spread it out on a cookie sheet and bake it in the oven until it's set, when it's no longer squishy. It's not really the best term to use, but anyway. I wanted to mention a little bit about making everything from scratch and how seeing other people do all of these things, or what it seems like for all of the time, makes it really difficult for moms to compare themselves or judge what they are doing as not enough for their kids. And I don't want you to feel that way while you're watching this video, because there are weeks that I am able to prep and make all of these healthier options for my family. And then there are other times where we spend a lot of time eating out, or I just buy something that is pre-made. And I don't want it to seem like this is something that I am doing all of the time, every single day. I just want you to remember that this video is such a short snippet of my life, and I don't want this to be a discouragement for you. I want it to be more of an encouragement. Right now in this moment, this is what is very important for me. I have the time and the capacity to try to get this accomplished and make these healthy alternatives for my kids to eat for breakfast. But I know that there will be a time when I don't have the bandwidth to be able to make these things, and especially when we're jumping back into homeschool, there are going to be days where I don't have time to make stuff like this, and I don't want it to seem like I have it all together all the time, making all the things that are perfectly healthy for us, because it's just not the way it is. There's no way to do all of the things all the time, and we just have to do the best that we can at each moment in time for us and what we are able to do. I think that having the desire to want to make the most healthy options for our kids is such a great thing to strive for. But like I said, there are moments that you just can't. And even if you make something at home as simple as a turkey sandwich, is going to be better than running to McDonald's and grabbing a burger or chicken nuggets, and honestly cheaper. Just making something at home that is simple instead of going to grab something is going to make a huge difference, not only in the fact that it will save you money, but it is going to be something that is homemade, even if it is not homemade in the sense of you made every single piece of that meal. I really love making things in the kitchen. That is something I do enjoy. I absolutely hate the cleanup. That is something I really hate. But I do love that my blender allows me to clean it really easily. You just add water and soap and put it on the cleaning cycle and it's done. Oh yeah, so I just almost burnt that little handle thing on my cast iron. I really thought that I could keep that on there while I was cooking. I thought that was the whole point of it, but apparently it was too close to the heating element or the gas, and it burnt. It was starting to smoke. So, you know, that's just real life for you. Another thing I want to point out is I am not using organic sausage. I'm not using chicken sausage or turkey sausage. I'm using pork sausage, Tennessee Pride. It's my favorite. It's one of the things that I cannot give up, and I'm probably going to keep using it, and that's one of those things. I'm going to show you this quick little clip of my house, of what it looks like while I'm doing all of these things in the kitchen. My house is not together. My kitchen is a mess. A lot of the times on here you will see things on my counter, and that's pretty much how it is a lot of the time. So I just pulled some homemade bread out of the oven. I just want to talk about that really quick. This is some of my potato flake sourdough bread that I make, and if you want to see the full video of me making it, I'll link that in the description below. But I'm not going to get into that whole thing right now because it's really not a breakfast item, but it is something that I made on this day, and I just wanted you to know that even if you don't do sourdough, if you make bread at home with yeast, that's also better than buying a loaf of bread at the store with a lot of preservatives in it. So I just finished up making the kind bars, drizzling some chocolate over the top and putting some on the bottom layer, sticking it in the freezer so that the chocolate can harden up. And while it's in the freezer, I'm going to work on another breakfast meal prep, which are the sausage egg muffins. So I just cooked that sausage a few minutes ago. And now I'm cracking a dozen eggs and putting those in a large bowl, whisking them, adding in some different seasonings, pepper, salt, garlic powder. I also add spinach and kale, a shredded cheese, and the sausage. I mix that all together, and then I'm going to put them in muffin tins. Now let me give you a tip. If you want them to come out easily, make sure you line them with silicone muffin liners. That is the easiest cleanup that you could possibly have when it comes to making these breakfast muffins. And as soon as they come out of the oven and they're done, I just go ahead and take the muffin liners off, then go ahead and wash them. That way they're clean and ready for the next time, and I'm not having to wash just one liner at a time. These egg muffins are super easy to make and very customizable. For a while I made them with bacon, but apparently everybody in my family likes the sausage better, and I was just very hesitant about eating the sausage ones. I don't know why. I'm weird about sausage. I like sausage on occasion, but I don't always like it, and so I didn't want to have them in the egg muffins. Once I tried it, I realized that I should have been eating the sausage ones all along because they were better than the bacon ones. These are the Cliff Bars that I made earlier. I just cut them up with the pizza cutter, put them in my container, and I'm going to stick them in the fridge, and those will last us probably a week or two. The muffins are done and they look delicious. Today I have prepped quite a bit. If you have any really delicious, easy, protein-packed breakfast ideas, leave those in the comments below. I would love to check them out. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will be making more homemaking videos and videos on potato flake sourdough recipes. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon.